I always went to church growing up. You know, I went to the Beverly Nazarene. You know, I grew up in Beverly, and that's where I attended. You know, I went to Caravan, and, you know, my mom kind of pushed me to go every Sunday, you know. So she always brought me up in a church setting. It was something that she always enforced. Well, like I said, I always grew up with church, so I always prayed, and I knew all about God and stuff, but, you know, it took, you know, something tragic in my life to, you know, in a bad surrounding, you know, for me to have a deeper outlook on it, you know, that brought me a lot closer to God. The father of 3 of my children who I was living with, you know, was doing a lot of things I didn't approve of, you know, in the home, you know, that really upset me, you know, and so it brought me deeper to church, where I'd faithfully go every Sunday. I'd get into Bible study, you know, I would pray and pray and pray, and, you know, just get a deeper relationship with God, you know. And I was scared to death after he went to jail, you know, because he was what my income was. And I was scared, you know, how am I gonna support my children? And we were in the process of being evicted from our home at the time. And just in the nick of time, God, you know, swept me and the kids up and provided us with an apartment, because that blessing really woke me up and made me realize, wow, you know, God will be there for me no matter what. You know, He'll always protect me. He'll always protect my children. You know, it's just amazing that within a second, He just provided us with a home, and so I would say that was my wake-up call.
I came into Jaime's life about 3 years ago. I knew God, but I wasn't living for God. But then when I had met my wife, she was a Christian. She pretty much said, you know, I'm a Christian woman, and you know, this is the way I want to live my life, you know. And she pretty much introduced me to it, you know, and that's how I came to know and live for Christ. But that's, I mean, I'm happy about that, you know, because now it's like I'm living my life the way God expects me to live it, opposed to the way I want to live it. People sit there and try to choose their own ways, and their own ways that they live their life, and it just don't work. It does not work unless you have God in your heart, God in your life, you know.
Currently, right now, life has thrown me a curveball, because I've been searching, you know, for a house to move into to rent for 3 months now, and, you know, it seems like every door is closing, so I'm getting hit with a curveball right now. But I think being a Christian has taught me to have more patience, you know, to just keep praying about it, describe to God exactly what I want, you know, and the most important thing is, you know, it's on God's time, not mine. You know, God knows what I want. He knows what I need. And, you know, when the time is right, He will provide it.
I think there comes a point in your life where you want a new beginning, you know, and you can have a new beginning through Christ. You know, and for me personally, God's in my life now. I'm living for God, and, you know, people, you know, myself, just need to step up, you know, and say, you know what, I'm going to live for God, and there's nothing else in the world that's going to change that feeling, you know what I mean? And so for me, it's a brand new beginning for me.